Introducing our PTR-M pressure test skid. This utilises an air-driven pump to produce hydraulic pressure and comes with or without a fluid reservoir, all sat inside a 316 stainless framework with levelling feet. The skid itself is a self-contained pump unit with integral air preparation kit and the hydraulic manifold to make your connections to. Other competitor products use tube fittings to pipe up the distinct hydraulic components like release valve, relief valve, and the pressure gauge, but our unit uses a hydraulic manifold to connect all the components together. This is an advantage as there is less connections that could develop a leak, and we also think it's less vulnerable to damage. The PTR-M only requires a shop air connection from an air compressor and a single hydraulic hose to connect to where you want the fluid to go. You could use this unit as a dispensing pump, simply moving fluid from one place to another, or you could use it to pressurize a vessel for testing purposes. There are a few models we can offer to suit different maximum pressures of the air-driven pump, up to 700 bar or 10,000 psi, and also if you need a fluid reservoir or not. You can see all the options on the last page of our datasheet. We can offer different seal compounds to suit different operating fluids. If you decide to have the model without the reservoir, you would simply connect a remote tank feed to the hydraulic manifold. If you have a model with a reservoir, you can choose to have either a 10 or 20 litre model. The model shown here is the 10 litre version. Now, let me show you how to use the machine. Start by making sure the shutoff valve on the right hand side of the frame is in the exhaust position, and then you simply need to push in an air connection from your compressed air supply. Make sure that the pressure regulator is unscrewed all the way by pulling the knob up and then turning it anti-clockwise until it hits the stop. At this point, connect the hydraulic hose to the outlet on the manifold. Don't attach anything to the hose connection just yet. We need to bleed the air out of the rig before we can start testing. Just put the outlet hose back into the reservoir filler port so any fluid that comes out will immediately go back to the reservoir until we bleed the air from the system. Now, we can turn the shutoff valve to the supply position by turning the knob anti-clockwise. This lets air into the pressure regulator. Turn the air regulator up until you begin to hear the air pump running. The fluid is being sucked into the air-driven pump, pressurized and then pushed out to the hydraulic manifold. Make sure the hydraulic hold-release valve is shut. After a few seconds you should hear the fluid coming out of the hose and flowing back into the reservoir. Turn off the air shutoff valve back to the exhaust position, which will stop the air supply to the pump. Now you have bled the air from the system, you can connect your hydraulic hose to the test vessel. When you turn the air shutoff valve back on now, the air-driven pump will pressurize the outlet line. To control how much pressure you get out of the hydraulic line, you can increase the air pressure on the regulator by continuing to turn the knob clockwise. The air pump will operate from around 1 bar of air pressure up to 7 bar. The air pump ratio will determine the maximum hydraulic pressure based on the inlet air pressure. Talk to us about the different models we offer, and depending on what flow rate or pressure rating you require, we can offer you the best fit. We always recommend, once you are finished with the test, that you return the air regulator pressure back to 0. Another control you have placed just behind the air pressure regulator is the flow restrictor valve. This can be used to control how fast the air pump operates and meters the flow rate. By screwing the valve in clockwise, the air-driven pump will slow down. Opening the valve anti-clockwise will allow it to run at its maximum speed. Talk to us if you'd like a digital data logging pressure gauge fitted so you can record the tests as you do them and capture the pressure over time data for use in graphs and certification. That is a brief overview of our Micropac PTR-M pressure test rig. Please see the links in the description if you'd like to find out more and contact us to discuss your requirement.
As the hand pump experts, we've got solutions for a wide range of demanding applications. If you need more tips and advice, talk to us today, comment below, or find out more at serum-hydraulics.co.uk.